welcome everybody. So today we're going to be learning about properties of multiplication. So I'm going to start off by having you guys look at these two images here on the board. So don't pay attention to this app yet because we're not there yet. Alright, so can anybody tell me what they see here? Just tell me what's happening. Just tell me what's happening that you notice. Alright, so what do we notice about this first one? Yes, there are two rows. We have one row and two rows. Correct. There are three columns. So we have 1, 2, and 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to circle these groups. So we have one group of 2, two groups of 2, and 3 groups. So now we have 3 groups of 2. So let's write that on here. We have 3 groups of 2. All right, and then how many do we have in total here? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Correct. So how can we try and write this one as a multiplication equation? How can we write this one as a multiplication equation? So we have 3 groups, right? So let's write that down. We have the 3 columns here. And then we have our 2 rows. So we're going to do 3 times 2. All right. Now let's go to this circle our columns this time. So we have our first column, which is a group of 3 this time, and our second column, which is also a group of 3. So looking at how we wrote this, how would we write this one? Yes, 2 groups of 3. Try and write an equation like we did right here for this one. So let's look at how we wrote this here. 3 groups of 2. So we have the 3 right here times the group of 2. So how would we do this one? Yes, 2 times 3. Awesome. So we have 3 times 2, and then we have 2 times 3. So what is 3 times 2? Can anybody answer that? Yes, it is 6. Okay, so now let's go to the second one. What's 2 times 3? Yes, it is also 6. All right, what do we notice about these? Are they the same numbers? Yes, they're the same numbers. We have our 3 right here. And we have our 2 right here. So this one is going to be our commutative property. So it doesn't matter what order the numbers are in, okay? We're still going to get the same answer. So we got a 6 for both of these. All right. So let's try the next images right here. All right, so I'm gonna have my special hat right here, and I'm gonna pick out some random numbers, and we're gonna put them in these little bubbles, okay? All right, so let's see our first one. All right, we got a 3, okay? So let's write that 3 in here. Okay, let's pick out another number. No looking, my bad. All right, now we got a 2. Look at that, we're getting the same numbers again. Okay, and then one last number because we have 3 bubbles in here. Okay. We got number 4, so we're gonna write number 4 right here. So let's multiply these, okay? So let's remember, we're always going to start with the numbers in the parentheses, all right? So what is 3 times 6? Let's look up at this one right here. We already got the answer for that. So what's 3 times 6? Great, yes. I mean, So I messed up, not 3 times 6, 3 times 2. Thank you for correcting me, because sometimes teachers make mistakes too, and that's okay. All right, so now we have 3 times 2 is 6. Now we're gonna go to the next number outside the parentheses. So we're gonna do 6 times 4. So who knows what 6 times 4 is? Yes, good job. It's 24. Perfect. All right, so now I would like for you guys to give me the same numbers, but in a different order. All right, so let's start with, where do you guys want to put number 3? All right, you want to put it in the second bubble. All right, what about number 4? Remember, it doesn't matter where you put it. You guys can just decide where you guys would like it, okay? All right, so we want it in the first bubble. And that only leaves us with 1 more space left, so we're gonna put our 2 there. All right. So remember, we start with parentheses first, okay? So we're gonna do 4 times 3. So what is 4 times 3? 12. Yes, good job. Okay. And now we're gonna go to our last bubble outside the parentheses and bring down that 2. So what is 12 times 2? 12 is a pretty big number. Yes, it's also 24. Wow, look at that. So we still got the same answer even though we moved all our numbers around. It didn't matter where the numbers were placed. So as you guys can tell, it doesn't matter if the parentheses was on the 3 times the 2 or the 4 times the 3. We still got the same answer no matter where the parentheses were around. So let's practice a little bit more, okay? So let's see here. Oh. All right, actually, all right, so let's do the same thing here. So let's do the same thing we did right over here. So we had the numbers 2, 3, and 4. So we're gonna do the same thing over here. We're gonna pick random spots for these numbers to go in, whichever bubble do you like. All right, so I'll go first. So I'll do 4, 2, and 3. Okay, and now we're gonna put our little X's to stand for the multiplication that we're doing. And I'm also gonna choose where I want to put the parentheses. Let's see, I'm gonna put them right over here. Okay, and since we have these right here, I'm gonna write those in there for more examples for you guys. So you guys help me read these out. So let's do the first one. All right, 3 times 2 times 4. Great job. Okay, and here we have 4 times 3 times 2. Awesome. All right, so let's try and find another way to write them. Let's try and figure out a different order. So let's see, we always have 4 and 3 go first. Let's try number 2, okay? So we'll do the 2 in the first bubble. All right, what about the middle? We haven't put number 4, so let's put 4 in the middle there. And the last one has had all the numbers, but we only have 1 number left, so we're gonna put our number 3. All right, we're gonna put our little multiplications. And now comes the even more fun part. We're gonna put our parentheses wherever you guys like. All right, so as you guys can see, I put them on the first 2 numbers here, and they're also on the first 2 numbers here, but let's try somewhere else. All right? Let's try right on these two. Okay. What about this? Where do you guys want to put parentheses? It doesn't matter. You guys can tell me between which numbers. Okay, you want to do between 4 and 3. Oh, it looks a little funny, but that's okay. And then we'll do our last one. Where do you guys want to put the parentheses? All right. Okay. Now, we're going to go ahead and answer these multiplications. So, are you ready for all this multiplying we're going to do, okay? All right. So, 4 times 2. Yes, correct. We got 8. And then we're going to multiply with the outside bubble. What is 8 times 3? Correct. We're going to put it right here. Let's see if we can fit it in there. Awesome. Let's go to the second one. What's 4 times 2? Oh, we did that, right? It's an 8. And 8 times 3. Oh, well, how would we read that? 3 times 8, correct. So, you see here we have 8 times 3, we got 24. Let's try 3 times 8. 24. Awesome. Alright, let's try the third one. What's 4 times 3? Yes, it's 12. And we're going to do the outside bubble. It's 24. Alright, and then 2 times 4 again. 8 times 3. 24. What do you guys notice is happening here? Yeah, so you see how we did 4 times 2 here. We got 8, and we did it 2 times 4 here. We changed the number order, but we still got 8. We changed the numbers that were in the parentheses, so we did 4 times 2 in the parentheses here, 4 times 3 in the parentheses down here. And even though we had different numbers in the parentheses and on the outside bubble, we still got the same answer. Let's look at that. So we have 24, 24, 24, 24, 24, and 24. Okay. So it didn't matter where the numbers were or what numbers were in the parentheses. It didn't matter what group was in here, because in the end, we still have the same answer. We got 24 for everything, okay? So now we're gonna go into what exactly these properties are. So let's go into the first one. So our first property is gonna be our commutative property. So it's the order of the numbers. Even if they change, the answer is still always going to be the same. Okay, so I have another little activity right here for us. So let's see. Look at all these smiley faces we have up here. So let's start counting them, all right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. Awesome. So how can we put those into equal groups? Let's think of that. All right. How can we, let's think of an equal group that we could do. Yeah, we could do 2 equal groups. So let's circle these. 1 equal group and 2. All right, so now that we have that, we have how many equal groups? 2. All right. And how many are in each of them? So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What about the second one? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we have 6 in each group. So what is 6 times 2? Yeah, it's 12. All right, let's go to our second one. All right, look at these smiley faces. They're organized a little bit differently, right? But how many are in it? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So let's think of another way that we could put these in equal groups. All right. Yes, good job. We could put them in 6 equal groups. So let's circle that. All right. So we have 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So how many equal groups did we just say? Yes, we have 6 equal groups. And how many are in each group? Let's count. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1 and 2. So we have 2 in each group. So what is 6 times 2? Let's count the numbers all over again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. 12. All right. So let's look at these 2 equations. The first one is 2 times 6, and the second one is 6 times 2. So in the first one, we have 2 go first, and the second one, the 2 go second. But we still got 12. So with the commutative property, it doesn't matter where you place your number in the equation because you're still going to get the same answer. All right? Okay, so let's practice with some problems here. All right. So let's see here. Okay, so the first one is 3 times 5. What number right here is missing? If we have 3 here, and we have 3 here, and we have a 5 left, is there a 5 on this side? Okay, so we're gonna put our 5 right here. Okay, so let's try that. So what's 3 times 5? Yes, 15. And what's 5 times 3? 15. Yes. So is 15 equal to 15? Yes, it is. All right, so that means the check is just to show that it is equal. But you guys see how it didn't matter how we wrote out our equation, it still was the same thing. Let's try another one. So 4 times, so we already have our 4 here and our 4 here, and we have our 3 here. Is there a 3 on this side? No. So we're gonna put our 3. So what is 4 times 3? 12. And let's do, oh, look at that. It's still the same. Oh, 4 times 3 is 12. Awesome. Okay, so now let's go to the third one. All right, so 2 times blank equals 9 times 2. So what are we gonna do here? Yes, we're gonna look for what number is missing from that equation that isn't on this side. And what number would that be? Yeah, our 9. All right, so we're gonna do our 2 times 9, which is 18. And 9 times 2, 18. Awesome. All right, now we're going to do this one. 8 times blank equals 4 times 8. So what are we looking for here? The missing number. So we have our 8 on both sides. So what are we missing? Our 4. Okay, and now we do our multiplication. 8 times 4 is 32. 4 times 8, correct, is also 32. So you guys see, it didn't matter what order we were in, we always got the same answer on both sides. So that's gonna be our commutative, all right? So let's go into the other problems we were learning. So the other property that we're learning today is the associative. So just like we did over here, rearranging the numbers on the parentheses, we're gonna do the same thing over here. So the associative property is when the grouping of the numbers, the parentheses, the numbers in the parentheses change, the answer is still gonna be the same, okay? So let's look at this image here on the board. We have, this is gonna represent a train, okay? So we have one train and another train. This first train has 4 different carts, and the second train only has 2 different carts. But the first train, each cart has 2 rows and 3 columns of seats. So we have 2 rows, 2 rows, 2 rows, and 2 rows, and then 3 columns in each. And then the second cart, we have 1 cart, 2 cart, and then we have 3 rows and 3 rows and 4 columns and another 4 columns of seats. All right, so how would we write that as a multiplication problem? Can anybody circle our numbers? Okay, so we have our 4 here, we have our 2, and we have 3. So we have 4, 2, and 3. So let's look at these numbers, 4, 2, and 3. So let's do our 4 times, we're gonna do our parentheses, 2 times 3, all right? 2 times 3. So what do we do? Let's look at this equation. Yes, we're gonna do our parentheses first. So what's 2 times 3? 6. Okay. And then we're gonna do the 4. What is 4 times 6? 24. Awesome. All right, now let's look at this one. We have our 2, we have our 3, and we have our 4. So let's write that on top of each, 3 and 4. So let's try and do that with parentheses. All right, so let's do it. Let's bring down our 2, multiplication, and then let's do our parentheses, 3 times 4. Awesome. So let's see, what is 4 times 3? 12. And bring down that 2. What is 2 times 12? 24. Would you look at that? You guys see how we put the parentheses in different places? We put different numbers in the parentheses, and we still got 24. So it didn't matter which numbers had the parentheses around them, we still got the same answer. So let's try and go over some problems just for a little bit more practice, okay? So, let's see here. All right. So let's see here. Let's think back to how we did the commutative property. Remember, let's pay attention to what number we have missing. So here we have 4 times, and then 3 times 2 in the parentheses. And in here, we have the 4 times 3 in the parentheses. So what number are we missing on this side? We have 4 and 3 here. What number is missing? Yeah, the 2. Okay. So let's look at that really quick. So let's do our numbers in the parentheses here first. So what is 3 times 2? 6. And then bring down that 4. So it'll be 4 times 6. It's equal to 4 times 3. What's 4 times 3? 12. Bring down that 2 times 2. All right. Now what's 4 times 6? 24. You guys probably already have the hang of 24 because we keep doing 24. That was not intentional. And then, excuse me, 12 times 2, 24. And would you look at that? They're the same answer. They are equal to each other. It didn't matter where we put the parentheses. You see how we have the same order numbers? We have 4, 3, and 2, 4, 3, 2, right? We have the 4 first, the 3 second, and number 2 third. But we change where the parentheses were. The parentheses are in the last 2 numbers here, and in this one, the parentheses are in the first 2 numbers. But that didn't matter, right? Because we still got the same answer. All right, so let's go on to number 2. So let's look at it. What number here is missing? We have our 6 times 2, and we have 6 times 2 here. So what number is left? Our 5. Awesome. So what is 2 times 5? 10. And what do we do with this number right here? Yep, bring it down. And then we'll do this one right here. What is 6 times 2? 12. Right, it's 12. And then we're going to bring down that 5. All right, so what's 6 times 10? 60. All right, and what is 12 times 5? 60. Ta-da, look at that. We got the same answer again. And you see, it's the same as this one. We have our 6 first, our 6 first, and the 2 second, and the 5th last. 2 second, and the 5th last here. But we changed where our parentheses were, right? So we put them in the last 2 numbers here. And on this side, we put them on the first 2 numbers. But it didn't matter because we still got the same answer. All right. So let's go on and do one more for the associative, okay? So let's look. Oh, I think I messed up here. I left them both blank. I'll say now, start. All right, so now that you guys got a hang of that, we're gonna move on to the next one, okay? Because now we're actually gonna be doing some word problems, okay? So let's see here. All right, so let's look. Okay, so let's see, what does this say? Each week, Sarah works for 3 days for 5 hours each day, and she earns $7 an hour. So let's pay attention to those numbers, okay? So let's look. We have 3 days, 5 hours, and she earns $7 an hour. Let's read the next sentence. Peter works for 7 days for 3 hours each day, and he earns $5 an hour. So let's look at those numbers again. 7 days, 3 hours, and $5 an hour. Okay. So Sarah says they earn the same amount. Is she correct? What do you guys think? So let's Sarah and Peter. Actually, you know what? Let's make 2 different colors here if it's still noticeable. So it kind of helps you guys a little bit. Alright, so Sarah is going to be the orange and Peter is going be in, well, it's kind of red, right? Let's do that. Okay. So, let's see here. I want to try and pick colors that you guys haven't seen, so we have a little bit of a variety here. Okay. So let's do Sarah. Let's write down her numbers first. Okay, so what do we know about Sarah? Yes, she works 3 days for 5 hours. So let's write that down. Okay, let's do that in our parentheses. She works for 3 days and she works 5 hours. All right, let's remember to close our parentheses here. And how much money does she earn? $7. So let's add that in the equation here. $7. All right. So let's look at her equation first. So what is 5 times 3? 15. What are we gonna do with that 7? Bring down that 7. All right. What is 15 times 7? Whoa, that's a big number. Who knows how to do that one? Yes, 105. All right, so Sarah earns 105. Okay, let's do Peter. Okay, so we have Peter on this side. So what do we know about Peter? He works for 7 days, yes. Let's write that here. 7 days for 3 hours. So let's multiply the 3 here. Let's close our parentheses. And how much money does he earn? Yeah, so we'll do that times 5. So what is 7 times 3? 21. Good job, guys. You're doing great. And we're gonna bring down that 5 here. And 21 times 5. Whoa, these numbers are just getting bigger. Good job. It's 105. Oop, I forgot my 1. Oops, okay. 105. Let's see here. Let's do a different color for you guys. Okay. So, is 105 equal to 105? Is that the same number? Yeah. So does that mean Sarah was correct? Do they earn the same amount? Yeah. So Sarah was correct. All right, so, and this is just like which property? So let's look here. We have parentheses here, and they're placed differently, right? Okay, so what property had the parentheses and the numbers placed differently? The parentheses were around the different numbers. Which property was that? Correct. It was the associative. This last one. Betty is a baker, and today she has received a cake order for a party. They told her the party will have 4 tables, and on each of the tables they want to put 2 cakes. How many cakes will Betty have to make? So let's try and write that into an equation. All right, so remember how I underlined the important numbers on the last problem? What about this one? So we're talking about Betty. All right, so yes, 4 tables. What's another place where we have numbers? Yep, 2 cakes. All right, and that's all the numbers we have. So we have 4 tables, and they're gonna have 2 on each one. So what are we gonna do here? Multiply. So let's bring those numbers. 4 times what other number is there? The 2 cakes. All right. What is 4 times 2? Yes, good job. 8. And what is, oh, wait, I'm jumping ahead. Okay, so let's find another way, because it says we have to find 2 ways to solve the problem. So what's another way that we can write this? Yeah. 2 times 4, awesome. Equals, what is 2 times 4? 8. And look at that. Oh, it looks a little funny. Sorry. So what property would this one be? Because we don't have parentheses here, right? We have 2 numbers here instead. But we do have a different order of numbers. We have 4 first here and the 4 second here. And the 2 first here and the 2 second here. So what property must that be? Yeah, good job. The commutative property. Alright, so now I'm going to have you guys get into your groups, if everybody remembers their groups. Alright, and I'm going to have you guys complete these with your group in your own journal. Everybody has their journal today, right? Awesome. So we're going to write these problems in our journals. Everybody has to write all the problems in their journal, and you guys are going to work together. Each station or each table is going to have, so each table is going to have your own little accessories, your little tools that you can play with. So we have little puffballs, we have marbles here for you, and I would like for you to represent each number as a different item. So let's try that really quick. So for number 4, I will do 3 red puffs, right? This will be on your table so it'll be easier to look at. And then, let's actually open this really quick. Okay. And then for the 4 in that equation, you're gonna grab one of your other, either the red puff balls or the marbles, and you're gonna put that right on the table. So we'll have 3 times 2. And then I would like for you to use the puff balls to find another way to write the equation, all right? And you'll pick one problem that you want to show me, and I will go to your table and see how you guys are doing them, all right? And once I tell you that they're all good, you guys can close your journals and sit quietly till I walk around to everybody, and then I will pass out your homework, okay? So everybody get into their groups, okay?